Welcome to the Tar and Feather Podcast. Here are your hosts, MustachedVet and GanglionCortex.
All right, well, we don't have to introduce ourselves because our friend Dan made the intro. So, how you doing today, Ganglion?
I am doing great. A good day, and I can't wait to tell you more about myself.
All right, me too. Had a good day at church today. How about you?
Had a great day.
Yeah.
The weather was great. I had a fire in the backyard. Cooked a steak.
Nice.
Good.
Nice. I'm trying to. Julia made stew. She made some beef stew, so
Oh
I'm
man,
gonna
I
eat
like
that.
stew.
I'm gonna eat that after the episode, after we get done recording. So pretty excited about it.
Excellent.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to start off with a little introduction about myself. So I was born in the great state of Arizona, born in Tucson, Arizona, moved all around Oklahoma, Germany, Illinois, and Louisiana. I was an Army brat, and then I ended up joining the Army. And that's what took me to Louisiana. And I lived in Maryland there for a little bit in AIT. And now I'm planting my flag up here in Pennsylvania, long ways away from hometown of Tucson. So currently married with a kid on the way. Let's see. Yeah, praise be to Jesus as he takes GanglionCortex and I on this journey of podcasting. And I'm going to give it up to you, Ganglion, for your introduction.
Sounds great. I'm GanglionCortex, originally from sunny Southern California. I have lived on both coasts and a handful of states in between. I really like adventure and exploring new roads, being in the great wide open. Some of this is what had led me to the Old West, operating now out of Arizona for the last 11 years. I am often reminded how my life has continuously improved as I accept Jesus Christ into my heart and home. The only place I look to move forward in elevation. I need more trees in my life. Jack of all trades by day and dad by night. I grow warmer as the days roll on, for I know through experience it gets as good as we make it. This is why we're going to help everyone manifest the reality and destiny they deserve. Not the carefully manufactured, scripted, predictive programming that has nearly consumed all analytical thinking and replaced it with a fear-based emotional response. This is why when we replace fear with faith, the facade fades away.
All right. That was awesome, man.
Yeah, we're here to unlock the secrets of the universe, which aren't secrets, they're all around us.
They are. So, let's dive into how we know each other, because that's what this podcast, or that's what this episode is all about.
What started it all 16 years ago.
Yeah.
We had met in I guess really we had met in AIT, right?
Yeah.
Even though we were in basic together, same location. AIT brought us a lot closer through common interests, mutual interest of weightlifting, baseball. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you like the Dodgers, I like the Diamondbacks. Camden Yards was right down the road, so us going to see a Orioles game, that was too easy. Even though they were playing the Rockies, which are a rival of the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks, but you know what? We still got to heckle a certain person. His name is, I believe his name's Brandon Hopp. He was the right fielder for the Colorado Rockies. We got to yell his name, Hop, throughout the first 4 innings.
Yeah. And so that was just, it didn't matter that neither team that we liked playing or not. It was just being together, being at a baseball game, being outside. Pretty good afternoon.
just being loud, having a good old time at the ballpark, eating hot dogs.
That was probably the second different MLB stadium I've been at, so that was pretty fun.
Yeah, getting to spend that money that we didn't get to spend while we were in basic and the beginning of AIT. We had a couple shekels in the bank at that point.
Awesome newfound freedom, right?
Yeah, which was unusual for me. Normally it was like paycheck to paycheck. Well, it was that way for a long time, even after this point. But having like $1,000 in my bank account was weird. Being 19 years old with $1,000, that was odd to me.
Yeah.
What's a 19-year-old supposed to do with, what he thinks is unlimited funds?
Go to Hooters and tip $100 for no reason.
Exactly. That's what we did. I still working down in Baltimore. I drove by that Hooters every so often, this was a couple years ago when I was living in Baltimore. So it always reminds me of you and I going down there and making our weekly trip to Hooters.
Yeah. It was summer, so like I kind of associate it with like warm, easy going. Yeah, summer. Pretty good time.
Exactly.
It was a good time to be in Baltimore in summer, for sure.
It was. It wasn't too hot or too humid. We got there in March and left in June or July. Your mic's off. Your mic's off now. Something happened to your mic. Right. Technical difficulties. This is the first episode. You're kind of in and out.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
The cord was loose.
Oh, no.
Anyway. So, yeah, it was just like... I don't know where I was going. I think I was talking about summer.
Oh, yeah. And I was just saying that we were there from like March to June or July.
And so, yeah, there probably wasn't a much better time to be there than in summer. Yeah, it was great hanging out around the water.
Yeah, training was perfect. I mean, you did get sweaty and it was a little bit miserable, but it definitely could have been worse.
My ACU blouse was starched from sweat. It was the jungle.
Yeah, exactly. And then, man, that at the end of AIT, we were the last ones to find out where we were supposed to go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They did not want to tell us.
Yeah, and then our drill sergeant came up. Little Hispanic dude came up to us and he's like, "Hey, Priates, you going Fort Pole?" And I didn't understand what he was saying. I didn't know if that was the name of the place or if he was just making some stuff up. He's like, "You're gonna love it."
He laughed and said, "You're gonna love it."
He just did this and he goes, "You're gonna love it," and just walked away. And then he handed us the paperwork like the next day or something. And then
I remember asking him like, "What does that mean?" And he said nothing else.
Nope. He just left it on a cliffhanger. And then you got to Fort Polk a couple weeks before I did because I did that recruiting leave.
Oh, yeah, you got lucky.
Yeah, I was able to go back to Illinois, where my mom lived at the time, and spend a couple weeks up in Illinois recruiting. It was just time off, really.
Perfect, yeah. And I remember when you showed up, I was trying to show you where the barracks were, and I was so excited. I ran a red light in the process of driving you to the barracks.
Yeah, that was so I had this giant U-Haul, the mom's attic U-Haul, with my pickup truck with all of my belongings in the bed of my pickup truck because I blew the motor in Memphis on the way down. So I barely made it. So I got onto Fort Polk at midnight, and you met me at the shopette.
Right near
you
the
met
front.
me at the shopette, and then we drove to the barracks afterwards.
Yep. And then, as luck would have it, my roommate had moved out like a week or two before that. and I was able to tell distro platoon, oh yeah, he definitely needs to be my roommate, and they did. It was great.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. I know him. He's an AIT. We used to work out together. He's pretty gung ho. He's the ultimate
absolute
soldier.
must.
He's the ultimate soldier. I mean, look at me now.
And actually, my wife had talked about that. Is they grouped all of us together because we were super soldiers.
Oh,
they knew
exactly. They knew it.
The greatest flaw was our autonomy.
The greatest flaw was finding loopholes in AR-670.
Drive people up walls.
That was the flaw, was that there were loopholes.
The loopholes shall be exploited.
Oh,
They're not
man.
loopholes. They're that's like allowables. That's how I see it.
What our floppy hats? We weren't allowed to cinch the chin strap in order to keep the hat on for when it was windy.
They told us to cut the straps off and hide them, and I was like, we're in the desert and it's windy as hell. No. And then I had to print it out and show them, and then they stopped arguing because I was wearing it behind my head.
Yeah. So we wore it. You could wear it as a rat tail, and you could put it under the cap. But they told us we couldn't wear it under our chin. And I was like, well, that's how you're supposed to wear it. That's how it stays on your head. That's what the chin strap is for. It's a chin strap. So I think
one of the difficulties for sure.
So you printed it out, and then you stapled it at the bottom floor next to First Sergeant's office, and it was there for about 12 hours, and somebody had ripped it down. Wonder who it was.
Sure, we can figure it out, but does it matter?
I'm just gonna say it was probably First Sergeant. She's like, why is this regulation up here? So, for the people who don't know us, we were 63 Bravos, heavy wheel
Coordinates.
Yeah, heavy wheel mechanics, diesel mechanics, or anything that had wheels. We also had a tank in Iraq, so we also worked on that tank too. So,
right, we were forward support.
No.
10th Mountain.
Yep,
sleeping with the infantry wherever they went.
Yep, 10th Mountain Division in Fort Polk, Louisiana. You know, there's mountains in Louisiana. There's not. It's the jungle.
I think it was more the rapid deployment within 60 days anywhere in the world is what they were looking for.
Yeah, so did you know that Fort Polk used to be the training grounds for Vietnam?
Yep, I've met some people at the VA that had gone through there.
Yeah, it's called Tiger. It's called Tigerland.
Yeah,
I didn't know that while we were there. I didn't know that while we were there.
It felt like it while I was sleeping on a concrete floor for 2 weeks. Yeah.
No, there's a movie out with Colin Farrell called Tigerland, and it's supposed to be based on Fort Polk, but they actually filmed it in Florida, which is weird.
Pretty similar. It's pretty similar. Pine trees.
Yeah, but it was kind of a bummer that it's about Fort Polk and it's training, but it's not in Fort Polk. So it was a little bit of a bummer.
Yeah, I could see that. You're gonna want to see some stuff in it.
Yeah, well, I wanted to see some stuff that I may have recognized, like maybe the field for where we did our PT test. Maybe the barracks, or maybe the motor pool or whatnot. Even though it was filmed in the 90s, so it would have been a little bit different, but it would have been cool to see like the older style buildings.
Pretty much the same, honestly.
Yeah. So
yeah, that was okay, I guess. You don't get to choose that, so it is what it is.
So so we were stationed at Fort Polk together. We were roommates, and then we ended up deploying to Iraq together as well, because of course we're in the same division, or same unit, and we did a 14-month deployment to Baghdad, Iraq, or Sadr City.
Yeah.
How was your part of the deployment?
So pretty early on, the sergeant and I were dispatched to joint security station, and we were tag teaming for mechanical support for one company. It was pretty remote, and it had its challenges, but that's what we were there for. And it was kind of nice being away from bigwigs and stuff. In retrospect, having decision in our own day-to-day operations, it was pretty good.
Right. Being able to set your own schedule and to fix the trucks that you guys have there. You had a certain mission, and it's easier to keep that in your mind than over at the bigger base, at Loyalty or Rustamaya, to where you have all of these, I would say, distractions, because you had the phone bank to where you could call your loved ones and everything. You had internet access. So, but on these smaller fobs, you didn't really have all of those amenities.
It was mission eccentric. For
yeah.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So time passed a little faster, and you didn't get to dwell on all of the negativity, or not necessarily negativity, but the missing people and
yep. You're single-minded focused. You're just thinking about what's going on at hand, and not things that are thousands of miles away.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It kind of like takes us back to I don't know, back to the days where you're like almost not quite hunter and gatherers, but before technology. And if you moved like by horse an hour away, or a day or two away, you didn't really have that much contact with people. It would take weeks before you would get anything, or a couple days at least. So it was kind of, I don't know, it had its drawbacks.
They call that living in the moment.
Yeah, it's wild. So it was I guess nice in that aspect. So it kind of
we can go on all day about deployment for sure.
Yeah.
14 months.
But how it made you feel in that moment was, anything could happen. And
honestly, I never really thought about jack shit. It was just I was already there. What am I gonna do?
Right.
Time to have a good time. Be safe and just keep your head on a swivel.
Right.
But otherwise, you can't control. So many different things. You can't worry about that, really. You can just have faith in your team and your equipment, and just go from there.
Yep. And I feel like that's what we were pretty good at. We were pretty good at keeping each other up.
Yeah, very motivated, very the camaraderie in our unit was so high. They were kicking people to other units to separate us, because too cliquey sometimes, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, we definitely had our groups. We were rough on certain people, but for the people that like to get stuff done and keep the mission moving forward, I felt like it was a pretty tight-knit group. It was awesome. So keep in touch with about 10 guys that we really got along with while we were, for that year and a half that we knew them. They ended up getting out.
In retrospect, it was a year and a half, 3 years, and you're still talking to them 15 years later.
Yeah, having reunions,
That's a lot of time
visiting them in Ohio. Had a reunion with a couple guys. One of our buddies had a wedding up in Wisconsin I was able to attend. You all came down for my wedding. I was at your wedding. So you and I have been able to share some pretty big events.
Yeah, and I think that's probably part of it, is that we are in a position to keep people connected and, you know, maybe reconnect some people. So,
And that's kind of
good.
what I wanted. That's kind of the vision that I kind of wanted with this podcast, was to talk about the camaraderie, not only the camaraderie that we had when we were in, but afterwards too. And we don't need to just dwell on the memories of us while we were in, because those are a whole lot of fun to talk about and laugh about. But what about the memories afterwards too?
Right, we have plenty of time to make more.
What about now?
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, we're 36 years old. We've got the rest of our lives to stay in touch, to see each other, to see big
to continue to
events.
grow.
Yeah.
Right.
We get to help each other.
We all have different strengths and weaknesses that all complement, and, you know, we can all help each other in very unique ways.
A prime example is Dan, is our buddy Dan doing the intro for us. Oh, and if nobody knows, that is Dan's voice in the intro. He's got a radio voice. He's a handsome guy, so I'm not going to say he has a face for radio, because that's definitely not the case. We're going to have him on episode 2, and we're going to talk to Dan about Dan.
And about cellos.
Yeah, about cellos. About the cello that he got tattooed on his arm.
Yeah. That'll be good.
He's going to hate this. But anyways, he'll have to talk about his cello a little bit.
He'll have to crack it out for us.
Yeah.
Show us what it's not.
Right. Exactly. That's not what it is. I swear, it's not what it is.
Yeah.
So, and then after Iraq, we went back to Louisiana. I got injured in Iraq, so I kind of left the service due to medical reasons about a year or so afterwards. You left the service shortly after coming back.
Yeah. Short timer. My time was up. I deployed.
Yep. One deployment was definitely enough for the both of us.
Yeah.
They wanted me to go to Afghanistan with the rest of the new group that they had, but I had already got my med board papers ready to go, and at that point I didn't see myself getting any better physically with the restrictions that they put me on, and the rehab wasn't going how I thought.
Right.
So I was like, this is my time to get out. And I don't know how many dudes came up to me and said that I wasn't going to be anything afterwards.
Yeah.
I mean, it was all higher leadership I guess that's their tactic of trying to keep people in.
But they know they're losing something.
Yeah. So obviously the first year that I got out of the Army was a little rough, but I quickly figured it out. Definitely had to put the bottle down, because I not entirely, but you know, alcohol was a big thing for the first year getting out, and I was lazy. You know,
hard not to be. You know, there's a lot demanded of you for many years, and so you do want some self time. Yeah,
you see that a lot with professional athletes.
Yeah, similar, right?
Yeah, like you'll see a professional athlete years after they got out, and you're like, man, he really put on a few pounds. He really let himself go. And then you just got to think about how many years that they ate, drank, slept that sport, and staying healthy and
dedicated program, right?
And running their bodies into the ground type thing. And now there's like no accountability.
Got to come from within.
You gotta account for yourself. How far along are we in?
25 minutes.
Okay. All right. So after that, I mean, you moved from Texas and then to California. You got all your VA stuff settled in California, and then I convinced you to move back to Arizona with me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that was great, and probably should have done that a long time before I did. But all things considered, there's a reason for everything.
Yeah, man.
So, yeah.
The support system with you being there, and I mean it made my mental health a whole lot better having you there.
Well, that's good to know, because when I left California, I had been consuming some hardcore drugs that humans shouldn't be consuming, and I was not making the best decisions.
Yeah.
So honestly, me moving was like a last resort, when it should have been a resort before then. It would have saved me some trouble, but
Right.
I still wasn't done learning. So
Right.
yeah, it was a great thing to move.
Yeah. And everything has its time and place, and that time may have given you the tools and the foresight that you have now.
Right, it's all experience that builds up. So
Yeah.
don't ever discredit something you've been through, because it could be reference and knowledge for something in the future.
Boom.
It's building you up.
Boom. That's what this podcast is all about. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. We have lots of, everyone's got a story to share, and it's all a piece in a puzzle in the collective that helps everyone figure life out.
Yep.
We've all been through
Exactly.
something that we can learn and not do ourselves and save a lot of trouble.
Right. You're always gonna come across a bridge for the first time that you don't know how to cross, and then you
Right.
stumble and fall, and then the next time you come across that same thing, you'll be able to figure out twice as fast or even faster and get
Yeah.
through it.
Right? Or
Wow.
take a whole group of people behind you.
Yep.
So let's
Yeah.
go.
Let's go. That's what we're doing. We're bringing the whole group with us. Everybody's going to get to see their beautiful faces if they want to come on the podcast. We're going to try and take the podcast on the road to possibly tour some VFWs or our buddies' places. We might have a podcast, in Ohio, in South Carolina, Michigan. I might drive up to Michigan, and we'll probably maybe do something in the backyard at my house. So once it gets warm enough again next year, we'll probably do something outside.
Lots of cool stuff on the horizon that we can do.
Oh yeah. And then so we were roommates in Arizona for a bit. You got married and started a family.
Yeah, that was 9 years ago.
Yep. I moved up to Phoenix and went to tech school for 2 years, and then I've moved all around since then. I went to St. Louis as a generator tech, moved back to Arizona, and then moved to Maryland, and then now I'm out in Pennsylvania as a generator tech. So living the life, living the dream. It's a pretty solid job. Work for a great company, so it pays the bills.
That's right. Work hard, play hard.
It allows me to spend time with you right now and talk about all this stuff. So,
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to talk more topics and have more friends and guests on and see where this goes.
that's what we're going to do. We're going to share how we know them, how they know us, maybe what they thought of us at the beginning,
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
and then how these last 15 years have treated them, and how they're doing outside of the military. That's an important topic, is how they're adapting, or how they adapted. How long did it take for them to adapt, and whatnot. So we'll have some people on. We'll talk about that. Some episodes we might talk about some other stuff, some random topics, maybe some emergency podcast if something randomly happens in today's news, and we'll try and pump it out there quick. It'll be like a short segment. But besides that, you're going to get to see our awesome faces once a week or once every other week. We haven't decided yet.
Really depends on what's going on at the time. But yeah, we'll work diligently to keep you entertained.
Yes, absolutely. So, talking about entertainment, I think we've pretty much introduced ourselves and how we know each other. Have we been farming for a certain item or certain item? There it is.
There we go.
We're farming for you.
We've been farming for you
on the meme farm.
That's right. And on the first
one, I look like a cholo, but I do.
Straight from the fields. Anyways, our first meme is
Overlay. All right, coming in heavy.
And when Obama came to take your guns, you were mad and angry. But when Trump came to take your guns, and what did he famously say? Take the guns first, and then question later. What was that?
Due process
later.
Yep, due process second. That was
that's a dangerous saying.
That was L. Trump.
And honestly, the group I'm a part of, Arizona Citizens Defense League, put out a press release recently, soon after he was elected, warning people to not be complacent.
Yep.
And people were complacent.
Yep. Yeah, that's when he pushed the bump stock ban.
Right.
And then you had a bunch of people going, I don't have one. I was like, that's not the point. The point is
lots of that.
Once you ban a certain accessory, other accessories start going with it. So you're talking about sights, any attachment that you can put on the top rail in order to help you aim or shoot or whatnot. So
Scott, do you know what I remember?
What?
Certain suppressor companies offering $200 off the cost of their suppressors because they were so sure the Hearing Protection Act would pass. Whatever happened with that?
Yikes. Probably a bunch of people went to jail.
Well, what happened? So when that did not move at all, I realized there was no good gun laws that were going to be made. At that point. So,
right.
It was obvious early on.
I mean, right now we're starting to. More states are getting into constitutional carry, so that's good. We've progressed over the last 50 years on how many states actually honor the Constitution. Nope. No, that is true. More states. I don't know the exact numbers. I think it's between 11 and 13 states now have constitutional carry.
I believe it's higher than that. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot now. It's more than.
And the statist fears a populace who is armed and doesn't need to ask for permission.
Yep. An armed society is a polite society.
That's indeed true.
That's what we think. Those are our words.
That's what I've experienced.
My thought. All right.
And so, you want me to show the next one?
Yeah. Oh, life has many doors, said boy. So this was a picture from Waco, the Waco siege, thanks to old Bill Clinton and Janet Reno. They wanted to take out the Davidians.
Janet Reno, what a piece of work.
Oh my gosh. What was it? This was before Ruby Ridge. So Ruby Ridge was before Ruby Ridge, right?
I do not know, actually.
Oh. Yeah, I mixed those two up, and which one was first or second? I think they were trying to make up for
It doesn't matter. The government was wrong on both accounts, and they killed innocent people over nothing.
Absolutely. Over our gun law, they had to kill multiple
federal
people.
government, the United States federal government, is the main proprietor of terror.
Well, they killed. I mean, they killed women and children on purpose.
We'll leave it for another day. That's not part of our introduction.
That's part of the meme. All right, next meme.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, that's right.
It's part of the meme. Next meme.
I don't have the next meme.
You don't have the next meme.
We can.
I thought we had one more.
I didn't upload it.
Oh no! I sent you the ATF one with SpongeBob and Patrick. You got it?
I will get it right now.
Or no, we gotta share Dan's meme.
Okay.
You got it? Because he did share it to me on Instagram. He was the only one to send me an Instagram meme. So
here.
Everybody's gonna have to start participating. Mandatory fun, okay? Mandatory fun. Start sending me your memes.
If you send no memes, you go straight to jail.
Straight to jail. No memes for you.
Okay, I am downloading it and uploading.
All right, this is the last meme. Oh, that's a good one. All
last meme, and there we go.
All right. So Squidward's talking to Patrick, obviously. Now, what's ATF? It means he's afraid of freedom. No,
it doesn't.
Third hole, unregistered suppressor. SBR, ooh. Stop it, Patrick, you're scaring him. Do you want to get your dog shot? So, that's the ATF for you. They are afraid of us being armed and ready.
The ATF should be a convenience store.
They are a leech. They are unconstitutional.
That's true. And we can have a whole separate segment into why that is.
Easily. We can. Yeah, we should probably have a segment on the Federal Reserve and the ATF. And some other, and the other tentacles.
It's really
that come out of DC.
The way I see it is the abjection of responsibilities by Congress, and they put those on other departments that are not. They're not beholden to the will of the voters.
Right.
So that's why Congress is supposed to be in control of so much of these functions, is that we can remove them. You can't remove a bureaucrat from some random agency. It's almost impossible. Yet they have the power of the law.
Yeah, there's no representation. They don't represent us. We didn't vote for them. So no taxation without representation. Stop taking my monies.
Yeah.
Hey.
And honestly, a fee from the ATF is a tax, regardless of the classification they put in the text of the document.
Yeah. Taxation's theft. Stop taking my money.
Stop taking my time.
It really is my time.
Time is money, baby.
And you know what time it is? It's time to cut this episode. All right. Well, we appreciate having you. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. Thanks for making it this far into the first episode of Farm Feather Podcast. Big thanks to Dan for making the intro. We'll see you later.
Bye.